Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome back.
Woo, yes.
Yes. For your first timers, I'm Pam.
I am Mari-Lyn.
Yes,
Grateful you've joined us.
yes, we are the Conscious Spirit Podcast and TCS Everyday Psychics.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Woo.
So,
I hope today is so thought-provoking that,
it has to be. It has to be. And we want to hear from you all.
oh my gosh. Yes.
Yes. So,
I know where to go.
oh my gosh. Well, so what we did, so we did a really big one of Fred's meditations. For all of you who don't know, Fred is my beautiful guide that's been with me my entire life. And he brings the most amazing meditations.
Amazing. Yeah.
And we are starting to post them on the Conscious Spirit Podcast on YouTube. We're going to start, like, I just did one, but I've been doing them for years. And Mari-Lyn and I have done them for so long. And many of my advanced students get together and we do these meditations, and they're much bigger than actually what I'm posting on YouTube for now. The ones on YouTube will get bigger because you can't just jump into what we do now.
What you're posting right now is for someone who has never done a guided meditation before.
Yes.
I guarantee you, I don't care how you,
or even ones who've been doing it for a long time, meditating for a long time. Friends are different.
They're so different.
Yeah.
Whether you're a visual person, whether you just hear things and however you process it. I don't care how you process. These meditations are
yes. See, hear, feel, know, whatever. Yes. Yes. And they are pretty dang amazing. They're all channeled. I have no clue what's coming in before it comes in. And it just, I always joke that Fred's the ventriloquist and I'm the doll. He's got his hand somewhere and he's making me talk. And so I hope you enjoy those. They're going to be weekly and maybe even more than that. Sometimes I might drop in another one. Just if the mood strikes and Fred really has something he thinks the collective needs. Although, he does them for the collective, but every person listening gets exactly what they need. So they're very personalized as well. I never know how to explain the meditation other than
personal.
Yeah.
And a good example is something that was in yesterday's meditation.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember hearing it. And one of the other ladies, that's the only thing she remembers.
Yes. Right. Yes. So we're talking about the meditations that there's a group of us that get together every Sunday and do these really advanced, deep ass meditations. So that brought up something for today. Yeah. Anyway, so what it was really all about releasing not just trauma, wounding, etc., blah blah blah, but really releasing the old patterns of thinking, what we think. We're going through life. What did you say, Mari-Lyn? I think I wrote it down. Thinking through life versus knowing through life.
Right.
So we were releasing all those things that we think we know, I guess, or that we think, just what we think, those habits, or
that we think is reality.
Oh, perfect. Yes, that we think
is reality.
Yeah, but it's just magical thinking on our part. It just comes from wounding, adopted think, wherever we learned it from our home, from society, from wherever. And it's dumping all of that nonsense. Yeah. That magical thinking, the unclear whatever. And it's been a ride. And we're just 24 hours in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So we want to talk about, or did you have something else to say?
I was gonna go to our text this morning.
Oh yeah, sure. Sure.
I think I had asked how you were.
Yep.
and you replied and you asked how I was. And I texted this to Pam. I was going to say, I'm not sure. And I just heard, well, decide. Spirit was telling me, you can feel however you want to. How are you? Do you
Yes.
want to be good? Do you want to be indifferent? Do you want to be pissed
Yes.
off? Do you want to be decide?
Yes.
And so I texted her that, and of course she laughed. And so I replied, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes. And you've been
Um,
holding on to good for a
I
while this
I
morning,
have
a couple
been
hours this morning.
I've been exactly that,
Yeah.
holding on to it because
Yeah.
my brain keeps going,
Yes.
okay, so really, how are you? Really,
Yes.
are you really good? Are you blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah?
Yeah. That's
And
you, all of us doing this, but it happens to be you at the moment, wanting to revert back to old behaviors,
yes,
to old ways of thinking.
yes,
The point is, we can change that. We can.
you can.
Not easy.
Oh no,
Boy,
no,
howdy, not easy at
not easy.
all.
Uh-uh.
But we can. But we can change that.
You can.
You can make that decision. If you're feeling, if there isn't a real bit, sometimes there is a reason. There's a very, let's say you had a pet that is sick or just passed away or something. I mean, and you're feeling depressed. That's what you're supposed, I mean, that's fair.
That is
More than fair. That's honest. That's
yes.
how you're feeling. But if you just want to be pissed
But
off
then
today or whatever,
there's your feet slipping on the dead slippery grass that's on an incline, and
yes.
your toe is bruised and sore, and that's a fair reason to be feeling sorry for yourself and
Yes.
being all, I don't know how I am, and blah blah blah. And
Yes.
yes, that's me.
That
That
that's
is
Mari-Lyn
me
today.
today.
Yeah.
And it's
And bravo to you for catching that. For saying, you know what? Wait a minute. No, I don't want, oh, as comfortable as it is to be wallowing on all this self-pity and the boo-hoo, poor me, my toe. You chose not to go there.
I just outed myself to how many people?
Yes, I know. Just me. That's all that's listening. Just me. It's only me. Yeah.
Um,
And that's okay.
and yes, there is a little bit of embarrassment there. However,
Sure.
mostly,
But we've all done, everyone listening is nodding their head going, oh my God, I've been there. Yes.
I'm just really grateful
Mhm.
I'm not there anymore.
Ah, woohoo. Amen to that. Yes, ma'am.
I think that exposure that I just did
Uh-huh.
allowed me to go, oh, this is so ridiculous.
Yes. 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 Yep. And that's part of, I believe that was part of yesterday's releasing. And it's part of the release. It's part of it. So
Yeah, I think so.
what was part of the meditation was to allow our bodies, all of our body parts, so physical body, mental, emotional, energetic, all the energetic pieces, there's more than just one, there's like crap ton. And every one of them has memory libraries that we hold stuff in. And so it was about opening those libraries and throwing out those old books, those old patterns, old way of thinking, old behaviors, old feelings, blah, la, 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 la. And so this whole week, we are going to be a little shifty.
Yeah.
Shifty all week.
Yeah.
We're
all week.
Yes. And I've had some too. Because I'm channeling the meditation, I receive it a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
I still get the whole thing, but I have to, I can't just allow myself just to go into the meditation and just be in the meditation completely because I have to be channeling it. I have to be up talking. So it does come to me a little differently. And I got pretty triggered by some old envy, some old wanting to be right. And I want to explain myself and tell you how it is. And arg, and these things that are coming up, they're really old.
Yeah.
And when we find ourselves doing, it's all a choice, whether we, like Mari-Lyn just talked, whether we jump into that or not. Are you going to jump in, or are you going to stand back, and you're going to just allow yourself to watch it, to feel it, to hear? Well, no, not feel. Well, I'm going to back up on that one. We don't lean in to feel it. We don't lean in to the emotion of it, because that will drag you right down.
Yes, it will.
And
but
even
said, allowing the feeling to come,
yes,
without grabbing onto it and without judging it.
Yes.
Without judgment is so critical, and it's hard sometimes.
Oh, I've been struggling, as you know, I've been struggling.
It takes practice to not judge.
Yes.
And even after practice, it can be hard.
So shall we talk about some of the tools that we use? I think people would like to hear some of the tools that we use to because sometimes when you're deep in it, boy, it's hard, you know. So this is sort of morphed over years. And sort of, so what it is today for us, you know, that is the fly on the wall. You know, we talk about, oh, I'd love to be a fly on the wall, and that, well, we kind of use it a little differently. We have, so one day I looked up, I wanted to get a meme. I was going to send it to Mari-Lyn, and I was going to send this meme of a fly on the wall, and I saw this fly on the wall with binoculars. It's this drawn vertical, and I just cracked up laughing. I sent it to Mari-Lyn. She immediately got it. Like it was, I don't think we had to talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
So not only are you, so we're good enough to, you know, okay, I'm going to stand back from this and look at the big picture. But what happens sometimes is you then grab those binoculars, you put them on, and then you zero in on whatever it is, and you go right back down to that.
And you're so hyper focused on the wounding, and the rabbit hole just sucks you in.
Yep, it does. So I know there's a lot of metaphors going on here, but that's the way it works for us. So especially yesterday was a big one for me. I had things to do with a bunch of people. My husband had an office thing, and so we went, and I love everyone. Like, we're all, it's a small office. There's, I don't know, there were like 20 of us there, and it was, you know, people brought their spouses or partners or whatever. And so it was a great time, but I kept, because I had this big cellular library dump. I was struggling, and I had to keep putting those binoculars down. And sometimes I would text Mari-Lyn, and she would help me through it, or just give me a word, binoculars, or whatever, you know. But that's what's helpful to me, because I'll really zero in. And so I have to, okay, back up. I like go to the wall. Okay. And I literally stare at a white wall and just breathe through it until that feeling, that need to turn and stare and jump into it again goes away. But there were times when I do that, and the next thing you know, I had my binoculars, I was turned, and I was focused on whatever. And I'd have to drop the binoculars and turn again. And it was really very useful. That whatever you call it, is very useful. Tool. Thank you. Small word sounds like. Yes. Woo. And that one's very helpful for me. Drop the damn binoculars. Yeah. And I could stay in the room, and like I didn't have to fly away, because flying away was not going to happen yesterday. Yeah. Not even a little. So that is really helpful. Drop those binoculars. if you can find however you need to do it, to pull yourself back from that narrow thinking. And I'm a thinker, I'm an overthinker, I'm a spinner. I've got so much air in my chart. I'm an overthinker. That's what works for me is okay, whoo, just breathe, allow. There's a clenching that happens in my brain. It's like this clenching and it just narrows me down. I have to unclench. Ooh, drop those binoculars, turn and just face that blank wall for a little bit and breathe. So I'm not looking at anything. That's super helpful.
Stare at the wall. Yeah.
Now, how do you do it? Because I know you have similar, right? But how, because you have a little different way of thinking about it, I think, or maybe not.
Well, the binoculars, for me, I don't remember them. And in fact, you mentioned it to me today.
Put them
Drop
down.
the binoculars. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am looking through binoculars.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah.
Being a fly on the wall, though, and I'm looking in, I realize that most of the time, whatever I'm looking at, I'm in my own room. I'm in my own space.
And you dragged other people.
So I've dragged people to me.
Okay.
And I know this is a little different than what you were talking about.
Yeah, but it's really the same thing, just we do it differently. I go there to their room. You bring them to your room.
I bring it to my room.
Yeah.
And I bring it to my room because I want control. I want to give the narrative on it.
Right.
That's control, right?
That's control. Yes.
I want, if I bring it to me, then not only do I have control over the narrative, but I have control over the connection.
Yes. Connection. I'm going to write that down because I think we have stuff, because stuff has come up lately, not just with us, but with some of our clients lately around
connection.
Yeah.
So being able to, first of all, put down the binoculars.
Yeah.
Look at the blank wall.
Yeah.
When I look at the blank wall, it's important for me to let the walls kind of dissipate. So I'm not in my space.
Okay.
I'm not in anybody's space.
All right.
And I'll be honest, I've never really thought about this in this perspective before. So I'm kind of working this out as I'm talking.
Sure.
But being able to look at the blank wall and let the walls fall down. And that way, if I do go back to look at it, there's air all around it.
Oh, okay.
It's less constrictive. There's no need, really, not no need. The need for control goes away because it's so expansive that I know I can't control anything that is that big. But when I'm in that narrow little space, I want total control.
See, yeah, that is so different than why I do it.
Did that make sense?
It did to me.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone out there got it, but I did. I speak my yeah, because mine is more, I'm screaming to grab control somehow. It's both ways are, we feel out of control, so we're trying to grab control, but it's done so differently. I have to what's comfortable for me. I just don't, I have to, but so I will turn and I will narrow that down, that wall. So I just see that. So I still want to narrow in, but I only see this little piece of the wall, because if I get too big, it freaks me out. I can't do, like, I can't, I can't
Yeah.
function. I can't function with it that big. There's too much. It's what's coming to me now is sometimes with children, you
Mm-hmm.
sit down to eat. If you put too much on their plate, they can't eat because it's too much, and they don't, they don't know where to start. It feels so overwhelming to them. They just do nothing. And so some kids, you have to just put a little bit on their plate until they ask for more, and then you give them a little bit more.
Right.
It's more me. I have to do it that way because it gets overwhelming for me until I'm ready. So I start there and I have to really calm down and really grasp what the issue is before I can open it up. So there is a difference.
But
the outcome is the same.
Right.
The outcome is the same.
I don't know, our perception, the way we process, I don't know.
Mhm.
The house we live in right now, we
Uh-huh.
bought, I don't know, we were married a year. So we've lived in this house for like, I don't know, decades. When
30
we bought
some
it,
odd. Yeah,
30 some odd years. Close to 40. Anyways,
close to 40.
when we bought it, it was like 700 square feet.
Mhm.
Now it's like 1,800 square feet.
Okay. Beautiful home.
If I would have been able to, I would have made this house very open concept.
Okay.
We have many pocket doors,
Mhm.
so it's not like obvious that there's a door there,
Mhm.
because I like the open, I like that
Oh,
expansion.
see, I am a mole.
And when it's like the smaller the room is,
Mhm.
because I have a couple of pretty small rooms in my house, the smaller the room is, the
Mhm.
cluttered it, the more cluttered it,
Oh,
the more
okay.
stuff accumulates in it.
Okay.
And if I had, I swear, if I had an open concept house, I swear I would live minimalistically.
Yes. As people think I do. People have walked in, especially the home that we had before, prior to this one.
Yeah.
People thought, they were like, look around and they're like, did you just move in? It's like, no, we've been here for a couple of years or whatever. I can't have too much stuff around. It like clogs my channels. And if it weren't for my husband, so he likes lots of pictures and lots of, I shouldn't say a lot, and he's not a mess. He likes things in order and everything, but he likes to have things around that remind him of our children, grandchildren, whatever, are the vacations we've taken, everything. I could do away with all of that. I seriously would have just blank everything. So we have to sort of come together on things like, could you not please not put another picture up, just replace one. I can't have another frame anywhere. Please don't do this to me. But it's really the same thing as, how can we
Yeah.
stay balanced and stay not focused on the lower vibrational things. Now,
Yes.
sometimes that can be, now we're not talking about bypassing, that's different. You've all heard bypassing is when you just don't see it at all. You're like, no, well, I'm not gonna look at it. This is
Right.
when this stuff comes up, and how do you deal with it? How do you, because not everything, of course, this stuff that we're talking about has come from wounding at one point, but a lot of that wounding has been healed, and now they're just habits that we're continuing with.
Yes.
Habits.
Habits. Oh man, habits are hard.
Oh,
And
they're hard.
we don't recognize them a
Mhm.
lot of times until we start healing, and then we start getting so irritated with ourselves. And then we have to look at why am I so irritated?
Yes,
And it's like this whole
yes,
process.
yes, yes. And I'm going to apologize to everyone. I have in case you can hear, it's garbage day in our neighborhood, and I have the window open because I have a fan too, but I just need that air moving today. So I apologize if you hear the big truck
Yeah.
going
I
by.
wish I would have opened the window because I turned my fan on and it sounded like an airplane engine. I think it's dying because it's a silent fan. I think it's dying.
Oh, yes, the silent fans are supposed to be silent. That's
Yes,
the point of
and
having.
it's not. Yeah, I wish I would have opened the
Yeah,
window.
yes. So when you go through, I'm going to say this too, because I know people are, I shouldn't say that. People might be a little confused out there. So what we're talking about today are those patterns, those habits, and we absolutely have control over them. We have control over the way we react to things, the way we spin out about things, the way we emotionally get attached to things, any of that, we have control over. And bringing that to the light, Mari-Lyn and I really, part of us doing these, and we're really honest. This is who we are. We're not making stuff up. We're not trying to be somebody we're not, or whatever.
Yep.
We want to talk about it to open that dialogue so people can start talking about it. So when you go to do something in your life, you can stop and go, oh, wow, hold on. Is this just a habit? I think it is. I don't have to do this. I don't have to feel bad right now. I don't have to feel whatever way it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make the conscious choice to change this today. Change this for right now, whatever that is. And you can. We want to empower you. We want to say, you can do this. You can change that behavior. You can change that old pattern of whatever it is that you are doing. You really can. We've done it many times. Some things have gone, many things have gone away, but we still have stuff clearly to work on. Yes.
Clearly.
So I think acknowledging it, looking at it is really the first step in moving through all of that. And there's another piece of this I want to get into.
Yes.
This is that connection piece. I wrote it down so we'd remember.
Yep. That's where I was going. That connection piece. And I know for me, and this just makes my skin crawl.
Oh, I know. So I think I know where you're going.
What I'm gonna use my bruised toe.
Yes, that's where I thought you were going. Okay.
As an example. I can't even my bruised toe, it was easy for me, and I even did this last night, I think with my husband. It was easy for me to start falling into victimhood, into that lower vibration, for simply the reason of connection, attention, wanting that attention, that connection that's strictly around my toe. And I know that that's not a connection that I have to work on keeping. And I know I brought my husband into that, but even with the people we live with on a daily basis, that connection isn't like 100%, right? We're not connected all the time. That's impossible. So making a momentary connection that I know I'm not going to have to work on keeping, because maybe I'm not even worth keeping that connection with.
Oh,
you say that out loud and it's like, God, that's not true.
No.
But sometimes that's how I feel.
Right.
I'm sure that's how every person feels at some time.
and it's old, and it's a lie, and it's ugly, and it has become a habit because it's so comfortable. It's so free. Oh my gosh, all those low vibrational things
Yeah.
can be so comfortable to just roll around in like a pig in the mud.
They can be,
Yeah.
especially when you haven't done any healing. Now,
Yes.
the amount
Familiar.
oh my God, I'm so grateful for the amount of healing that I've done because
Oh, yes.
yes, I go there. I go
Yes.
there more often than I want to, but
Yes.
luckily I recognize it.
Yes.
And most of the time I make that
Yes.
conscious decision.
Mhm.
I make that conscious decision to find a way to get out of it. Sometimes I have to ask for help.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a matter of, wow, what are you doing? That's so gross. I'm
Yes.
not. No,
That's so gross. I'm
not
out.
me. That's not me
When you
anymore.
make yourself sick,
Yep. Yep.
you know there's something. Yes.
Sometimes I even go so far as to say, okay, you are not that drunk person anymore. You do not have to
We're not.
wallow in this victimhood.
Nope.
Stop it.
Stop.
Go look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Go see who you really are.
Ooh. Yes.
And it's true that it's comfortable.
It's
And
very
so it's not.
comfortable. It's so comfortable. Those ways that as a child we protected ourselves and we stayed safe. In adulthood, those same things become a part of who we are and what we do. And they're not healthy. If you think about it, when we get triggered, it takes us all the way back to when it started as children. So we are not thinking as adults at the moment. We are not, I'm not thinking, I am not a 50 whatever year old woman at the moment. I am a 5-year-old child at the moment, trying to get my needs met, not understanding what's going on, trying to protect myself because I don't understand. Now, as we all know, before the age of 7, all we are feelings. That's when most of this trauma happens, is that early in life before we start reasoning. And then even with that, our frontal lobe doesn't even connect till we're in our mid-20s. So, there's a lot of years there. But that's what happens. We get pulled all the way back, which grosses me out because sometimes when I'm doing something, all of a sudden that hits me. It's like, oh my God, I'm 5 years old right now.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I have this habit from way back then that has changed and morphed. And if we bring in, sorry, am I just yammering, Mari-Lyn?
Well, I'm afraid you're going to change something, and I want to interject.
Okay, please do.
I'm going to say that those woundings that happen at those young age, every one of them has something to do with a disconnect.
Yes.
Connection has been interrupted, stopped, non-existent.
Yes.
That craving for connection starts with every wounding trauma we experience as a child.
So I'm going to add to that. What I was going to say actually fits in perfect, but I'm so glad you said that first. Because we lose soul pieces. And so if we go to that analogy that our soul looks like a piece of Swiss cheese, we have to figure out how to function without that piece there. So we move around the piece, we jump over the piece, we don't step in that hole, right? There's nothing there to hold us. So we have to move around it. So we become very creative, learning how to function without that there and not let anyone know that we're hurt or we're wounded or whatever it is. Or sometimes being hurt and wounded is what we want because we want someone to come to our aid. Whatever it is, we're trying to get our needs met without having the full puzzle. We have missing pieces.
Right. And we do that as adults.
Absolutely, we do.
When we're wounded.
Yeah.
Whether it's emotional wounding.
Yes.
or physical wounding, injury.
Yes.
Um, because I've noticed, I do this, I've noticed it with other people,
Mhm.
that when I have an injury, kind of like my toe, I want to make a bigger deal about it than it is.
Yes.
But had I broken my leg,
Mhm.
home alone, had I broken my leg or my arm, had I really been injured, I would have become a would I have become a martyr? Is that where I'm headed? I would have downplayed it.
Yeah.
There's no way I would have called out for help. I wouldn't have
No.
flagged down a car going by. I wouldn't have screamed at a neighbor. I would have downplayed it to the hilt.
So I'm so sorry, but I have to tell you what's coming through.
Yes, please do.
Okay, so I'm not a big drinker. We've talked about that. Mari-Lyn, as we know, doesn't drink at all. She's had her share for a couple
I
of
have my
times.
share.
So what happens is our guy, Fred, will come through. He loves us so much. And so I want people to understand the way guides sort of work. They have no ego. There is none of that. They bring us laughter. They bring us love all the time. And one of the things that sometimes Fred will do is he'll bring in a drinking analogy because it just lightens the room, because it just does. Mari-Lyn can laugh at it. And it's always good. So he's like, so every time Mari-Lyn says toe, we get to take a drink. So I heard tongue. Sometimes I'll wait till after the podcast and I'll tell her those things, but it was just too good. And I'm sitting here trying not to laugh because I don't want to laugh at what she's saying. But it's like, hey, she said toe again. And then I take a drink.
Proof to my story that something so inconsequential.
And that's the kind of stuff they do to remind us to stop taking things so seriously. And that it's really not, it's really just, that it's just habit. It's not, her. Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
That was so good.
Thanks, Fred.
Oh, God, we love him. Yes.
Yeah.
And spirit. And now, if this were really wounding for her and she were really in it and she were triggered and she needed kindness, that never would have come up. Ever. He would not have done it. He would have waited till she's out of it. And then, but no, even then,
I don't know that he would have brought that to you.
No.
If that's something that would have hurt me.
Oh, never.
Would have brought that.
Never.
That was so flippin' funny. Oh my gosh.
Because it was the look on your face when you said, like, I'm going to bring up my toe again. Like, you knew what you were doing. And so it was like, click. Yeah. They're toasting. Yeah. So, yeah. So spirit is not in any way ever cruel. Ever. And you're right. Fred never would have brought that had it been, had Mari-Lyn, would that hurt her? Would that fuel her, whatever, that wounding, that trauma, that when you're really in it, they
insecurities.
Yes.
That's what's coming is the insecurity.
Yes. That was just way too good to keep. I couldn't save that one for later. Yeah. So good. So connection. There's one connection, we try to make connections with other people, and sometimes it definitely comes from wounding. It comes from not being or wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, wanting
to be part of something bigger.
to be part of something. Yes, we see that a lot. Excuse me. This also goes back to whose room are you in? Like when you were talking about you drag people into your room, and maybe I
Right.
didn't say that, but I was thinking in my head, okay, so you're going, whose room are you in right now? You need to get out of someone else's room and back into your own room. And Mari-Lyn's like, well, I just bring them into my room. And so I think maybe that's why I didn't say anything. I think I went, oh, I guess you could just bring them in. But to feel connection, sometimes we jump into other people's shit and it's none of your business. And we all do it. I am guilty. I used to be a horrible gossip years ago. It was, now I look back and I'm so embarrassed. And it's just gross. Talk about like, blah. But, and thankfully I have, not only have I gotten through that, I'm like, stay in my own lane lady now. Like I try hard. Sometimes I still, but not near what, because that was all wounding. I was trying to make connections with people, even if it was that kind of connection. That's an connection. That's not real. That is not
any connection.
Yes, I was going for any connection I could get.
Yeah.
And a lot of us do that. It's any connection that you can get. You will jump on any old bandwagon. You will get on become some big social justice warrior, which we see a lot now online, right? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Have these groups of people shouting over shit that doesn't matter. Like, oh, good God, can you put your energy and your time and your money, whatever, to real issues in this world? There are a lot of people who are being abused, people, animals, and it's real. It's real life stuff. That's what we could, I mean, if you really want to be a warrior of some sort, right? You really, excuse me, want to get out there and help people.
Yeah, make it count.
Make it count. Go to your local YMCA, go to your local volunteer, be a part of something where it's actually helping other human beings. That's real connection.
And if that means you have to do a little healing before you can do that.
Oh, and please,
healing.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah. And right along with it. But to just, whether it's online or at work or wherever it is, you start jumping into, like, if you're, okay, here, this is just, if you're fighting harder than the person, like if you're, let's say you're at work, one of your friends, one of your coworkers, the boss says something nasty to them. I'm just going to say that. I don't know what I'm just making shit up, pulling out my head. So, and I decide to scream louder than she is about it.
Get back in your own house.
Yes. Yes. Get back. Move on back. None of your business. You can, of course, be, I'm so sorry he spoke to you that way. That was really uncalled for, whatever. I mean, you can support your coworker, but when you find yourself yelling louder than they are, yeah, get back to your own room. Get back to your own lane, whatever you want to call that. Yes, and we see that happening all the time, but it's that connection. So if you're screaming louder, it's because you want connection so badly. And it's really none of your business. Get back in your lane, sister. Or Mr., whichever works. Yes. But yeah, so connection really drives us, and can drive us in really ugly ways to do some really ugly things.
Yes.
Yeah.
It can drive us to be mean.
Oh, yes.
It can drive us into codependency.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking
It-
of,
yes.
um, one of the ways that this happens for Mari-Lyn and I both, when we've talked about this, doing the paranormal work that we do, we are there to help everyone heal. No matter what dimension you're in,
Mhm.
we come in to help you heal. The nastiest of the nasty entities, their first choice is to heal. That's always, I don't care what a bad mother, you know what, or you are, and you're trying to kill me, literally, you're trying to really destroy me. My first question to you will be, can I help you heal? That's always it. And it's not necessarily going to be from me and those real low entities. It's not. My job is just to sort of be the medium. um, there are times, if I were not as healed as I am now, I would not be able to do the work that I do. And I know there was a reason for going here. Now I know. It's like, where do I go? There are times when Mari-Lyn and I will like congratulate each other. It's like, you know what? You couldn't have just done that, 3 months ago or whatever it was. And we get to pat ourselves in the back and say, wow, look how I've healed. Woohoo! Because we didn't make that emotional attachment with whether it's, and whoever, whether it's the homeowner, the actual person in a physical body, or the one who's no longer in a body or never has been. So I guess take those moments when I'm getting this vision of, and I know you people are out there because I'm getting something for someone. You walked away from a situation. As a matter of fact, you didn't just walk away, you just kind of went and you just kept on going. Congratulate yourself. You've done a lot of work to get to that place where you weren't drawn in, where that connection with those negative people, whatever that was, those low vibrations, it didn't get to you. And you just kept on a go. And damn it, congratulate yourself. Yes.
I got chills.
Yes, me too.
Visible chills.
Yes.
Congratulate yourself.
Yes.
Because it's huge. That is a huge accomplishment.
Huge. Congratulate yourself. You did it. You've done a lot of work. Even if you are white knuckling it as you are walking by, damn it, you're doing it. Good for you. Hallelujah.
And I'm getting that somebody is second guessing themselves for doing that. And
yes.
Second guess yourself. Congratulate yourself. This was such a victory for you.
And can we talk about that for a moment too? The second guessing or the guilt or the shame or the whatever sometimes that comes after.
Yeah.
When we are transitioning, when that healing is still happening and we are transitioning and we get to that place where we haven't we're working on the habit, really, I think is the piece. And you can feel really bad, whatever those feelings are. It's all fear, but you start doubting. Now,
the doubt, the guilt, the shame, all of it.
Know that you did the right thing. And really, the doubt, the shame, the guilt, whatever that's coming up, those are all lies. Lies, I tell you, lies. That's that thing. Are you sure you don't want to do that? Oh, that wasn't the right thing. You should have jumped in there and wallowed with those people. You should have jumped in and, stood up on the desktop and screamed or whatever for someone else, on someone else's behalf, whatever it is. No, you did the right thing. Hold on to that. And it's hard.
Yeah, it can be. It can be really hard.
Yes, but you did the right thing. You absolutely did the right thing. Yes, stay in your own lane. Be your own best friend. Love yourself. There I was just watching a thing recently on Dolly Parton. For those of you who know Dolly, I think everyone knows Dolly. That woman is amazing. She never says a bad word about anyone, ever. And you never hear anyone else say anything bad about her, ever.
No.
So what just came into my mind is, what would Dolly do? You know, the what would Jesus do? But instead is, what would Dolly do? Yes.
That's funny.
Yes. Sometimes doing the right thing can be really hard.
It can.
Oftentimes it's really hard because it flies in the face of the people in your life that you've always done the wrong thing with. And they want to keep you there. They want you to stay in the muck with them because it makes them uncomfortable when we start to heal and move out of it.
Sure.
Yeah. We make ourselves uncomfortable. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so someone out there needed to hear it. Congratulate yourself. As a matter of fact, anyone who's listening to this, Spirit has brought you here. You may not resonate with everything we're saying today, but there was something within this podcast that's resonating with you, and it's coming from Spirit.
Yep.
It's not coming from us. It's coming from Spirit, and Spirit needed you to hear that today. And congratulate yourself.
I want to talk a little more about congratulating yourself, because that can also be hard.
Oof.
Celebrating our victories can really feel like ego. It can feel self-serving.
Yes.
It is self-serving.
Yes. In a beautiful way.
In the most beautiful way.
Yeah.
When we can really see our victories and celebrate them and pat ourselves on the back and yay us, it makes it easier every time.
Yeah.
And it also makes it easier to make those hard choices.
Yes.
To walk by that connection that we are so drawn to.
Yes. And that connection that wants us to be a part of it because they want your energy. People become really brave in a group. They become really brave to say mean things, to do mean things, to just be assholes. That's why you often don't see, like, there might be someone at work maybe who's a bully or a narcissist, whatever it is. By themselves, they're usually pretty tame because they don't have their group around standing there supporting the bad behavior or whatever it is. Yeah. But there's something too, I'm going to say this, someone out there is being gaslit really heavily. Gaslighting is such a big.
One person?
Okay, there's more than one.
One person out of everyone that's going to hear this podcast.
Okay.
Gaslit.
All right. I take that back. There's more than one. Gaslighting is so destructive, and it just really hits us where we live. Like it pulls up that wounding, that doubt in us. So sometimes it's not just us. I mean, good God, I can make myself feel bad all on my own. I can my own doubt and stuff. I don't need someone gaslighting me, trying to light it up.
Seriously.
Yes.
Seriously.
And that's that someone who's gaslighting you immediately tells you, get the fuck out, stop being friends with them. Seriously. Anyone gaslights you, someone makes you feel bad is what they're trying to do. They are trying to make you feel bad, feel crazy, think that they're better than they are, trying to get you to do something, whatever that is, and it's not on board, it's not, honest, get the hell out. Or at least you have to be around them, see it for what it is.
It's so funny that we have such a different perspective on that, because I say, stand up for yourself.
Right.
Call bullshit.
Right. Nope.
Draw your boundary, and your boundary might be peace out. No.
Yeah.
And everybody has to, you have to decide for yourself, right for your situation. But I can tell you, if you make the choice to stick around and be friends with that person, you have to be ready to,
Mhm.
you have to be prepared
Yeah.
for what you're stepping into. You
Yes.
have to be prepared to
Yeah.
take responsibility for how you feel.
Yes.
Because if they're going to gaslight you, you
Yes.
have to not accept it.
Oof.
And
Yes.
it's hard.
It's really hard because
It's really hard.
some people are so, I've talked about many times my mother, Olympic level narcissist, like the woman could gaslight and you had no clue that's what she was doing. She was so good at it. And there are a lot of, like, there are people that you go, dude, are you trying to gaslight me? Like, it's so obvious. It's like, hold on a minute. I know
So,
I couldn't do that thing you're just now telling me or whatever. Like, come on.
and
But
it's those situations that I feel like you need to call bullshit. You need to
right,
say, hold up, wait a
right,
minute.
right.
No, you're not
No,
gaslighting me. Not
no,
buying it, not happening.
right.
Do it again, and it'll
Yes.
be the last time.
So for those people who think that, well, and I said it, I'm the more outgoing one. I'm the one that, is a little more apt to call bullshit and all of that stuff. And Mari-Lyn is soft and mushy and gushy and all of that, which she really is. Here's an area where we flip. And it's because of our experiences.
Yes.
Being raised with a mother like that, I have learned to set my boundary without words and I just walk away. But that boundary, believe me, it's there. And if you step
It's
over
there.
it again,
Yeah.
well, you won't be stepping over it again. You won't
No.
get close enough to me.
You won't get the chance. Yeah.
But that's where, so however you do it, it doesn't matter whether you do it the way Mari-Lyn does or the way I do or your own way. It needs to be comfortable for you, but still setting that boundary
Yes.
and remembering who you are. Yes, I see a look.
Well, I don't do it. I don't call bullshit.
Oh, sometimes you do. Don't do it to yourself.
Sometimes I do.
Yes.
But when you said do it the way Mari-Lyn does it, it dawned on me, I really don't do that.
Oh, you just talk big.
I
That's
talk big. Now,
but sometimes that helps.
I
To a
do it
friend.
internally.
Yeah.
And I change the way I react to it.
Yes.
Um,
Because I've seen you do it.
and that's
I've seen you
hard.
stand up for yourself.
But there have been times
I've seen you call bullshit, and
and
I'm like, woo.
I
Here you go, girl.
I think I might look at this differently now that I've given all of this wonderful on gaslighting,
Yes.
because being gaslit hurts.
Oh, yes.
Even if you are,
And it's so self-serving for that person doing it. It's just gross.
it really is. Their intention is to hurt you.
Yep. To get their way.
Their intention is to get their way.
Mhm.
I have gotten really good at not giving people their way
Yes.
when I am gaslit, but that doesn't mean I'm always calling bullshit on them. So
Right.
I had to be honest there that's not what I do.
But you know what's coming right now is however you do it, you're calling them out on it. However you do it, even if it's just I'm setting this boundary, see ya.
Yeah.
I'm letting them know. It's about setting that boundary and
Yes.
saying, not today, not happening, and it's not happening tomorrow or the next day. This isn't happening again. We're done. You're done. Whatever. Go play your silly game somewhere else.
Somewhere
I am not
else.
one of your stooges, man. Not happening.
No. No.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
I want to encourage people to consider themselves first.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Consider yourself first
Mhm.
when someone says something and you're hurt.
Yes. Mhm. And there is this this amazing saying, and we've kind of turned it a little bit, but there's a saying that Mari-Lyn and I have, and we don't usually say it out loud to anyone. I don't think we may have said it in a previous podcast. I don't know. But as far as where, you know, I'm going to say person instead of woman, a person with an experience. And well, we use different terms. So I'll just, yeah. A person with an experience is not held down by a person with an opinion.
Yes.
So however you were, I mean, we sometimes change it around, but that's basically it. I have experience with whatever it is I'm doing. I have the experience and I have the right to stand here. And you do not have that experience. You just have an opinion, and your opinion does not matter here. My experience trumps your opinion.
Yes. Now that person's still entitled to their opinion.
Absolutely.
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 But are they entitled to use their opinion to attack someone with experience?
Nope. No. Even just another person with an opinion. But no, they don't.
No, they don't.
No.
They don't.
So do you have the right to say what you want to say? I guess so. Although I'll even, like, don't come into my house trying it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, you have your right to your opinion, but you don't have the right to unilaterally spew it.
Correct. Yes. And certainly not, there are people who, like, you think you have the right to come into my house and spew your shit? You are outside your mind.
Yeah.
Like, no, that is disrespectful. It's rude. And mind your own damn, but get back. How wounded are you? How wounded are these people that do stuff like that? Wow. Yeah. And looking for connection, no matter how they're going to get it.
Yep.
They are on this quest to be right. And it's all, and we've had that stuff because, well, I certainly have. I've been sort of psychic and out in the psychic community longer than you have. And people will tell you you're a fraud or you're a fake or whatever it is. That's part of the gig. You get used to it and you're like, yeah, whatever. Sure. But what always struck me as odd was, I wonder why would we say that? Like, seriously, like, if I don't agree with someone or if I think whatever, I just stay away from them. Like, I would never think of, I'm not going to be mean to you because you think differently than I do. That part of it has always stumped me. Like, that's a stumper for me.
What about you don't agree with them, you don't even care for them, and yet you consistently expose yourself
to them. Isn't that bizarre?
That's part of that self-punishment that we are so good at doing.
Yes.
It really is. It may not sound like it, but that's exactly what it is.
Yes, it is.
You're punishing yourself and you're attempting to get connection that is not healthy.
And truly, let's say I'm all broken, I've got all this wounds and whatever, and I just don't like Mari-Lyn. She thinks she's a psychic and blah, blah, blah. She thinks she's more psychic than I am. And so I'm going to go tell her that she's not. Who is that helping? Like, it's not bringing anyone anything. So
no, it's not even helping you.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Not even.
If you're living rent free in my head, that is not helping it. First of all, you could care less what's going on in my head. So,
yeah.
And so it's only affecting me.
I would rather not be living rent free in anybody's head.
Correct.
Mostly because energetically, I might feel that and I don't want to.
Yes. Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. And those are the things you can change, though. So if you find yourself, you got someone living rent free in your head, and honestly, if you're somebody at work or someone you listen to online or whatever, or maybe one of us is just pissing you off right now and we're living in your head and
Yep.
you just feel like you want to tell us that whatever, how you feel and how we're stupid. It always would be, you know, that we are stupid and you're not. But think about, take a step back, be that fly on the wall,
Drop the binoculars.
and do whatever, you know, like I do. I just stare at that white wall for a while, take a deep breath, and think about it again. And come to terms with what is it that's really bothering you? Because it's not Pam and Mari-Lyn. It's not us. There's something that about you, there's something within you that is feeling very disconnected. There's some wounding there. And it's really an opportunity to heal.
Yeah.
When you get to that huge opportunity, Spirit is giving you the most beautiful opportunity to look in that mirror and say, okay, why am I feeling this way? Because it's not someone, I can't make anyone feel any way. You can't make me feel any way that I don't want to feel.
But I'm going to try.
But if you try, as soon as you say, that person makes me feel, stop right there.
Just dead in your tracks. Stop.
Yeah, stop.
Back up the truck.
Pull back. Look at the big picture. Stare at the wall. Drop the binoculars. Whatever it is you have to do. There's something going on there. Yes, pull back. So
that person made me feel. That person made me think. That person made me do.
Yes, that person's such a bitch. Really? Okay. I mean, sure, they might have done something that was not nice, but you're having some kind of feelings. And why?
And this comes right down to personal responsibility.
Yes. Yes.
We control.
Yes. And what is it that
ourselves.
They really hurt? Now, what I just got, like, you come after one of my kids or my grandson, you better effing run. Like that's, you know, no.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But just being an asshole or whatever, that's none of my business. You can go do you somewhere else. So we have that choice to decide how we're going to feel, when we're going to feel it.
Yes. I would love, absolutely love, is if this was something that became so mainstream that we started to teach our children.
Yes.
That no, they didn't make you feel this way. Yes, you were hurt by it.
Yes. You're having feelings.
And even for adults to learn that the feeling is valid.
Yes.
I don't care why you have the feeling. The feeling is valid. Yes. But taking responsibility for why you have it.
Yes. Yep. And claim it. Own it.
Yep.
God dang. And sometimes it's awful to look in. Oh, and it's embarrassing and it's gross and it's just
But all that passes.
And really that's only just you. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
And you know what? Here's another thing too. Like, say at work, that whole analogy with that group of people and whatever.
Yeah.
None of those people are your friends. I'm going to tell you right now, they are not your friends. They will not have your back for any reason.
Love that analogy of a friend and having your back.
Yes.
Because a group that is solely based on a low vibration.
Yep.
You need them. They are peace out.
Yep. They're not going to be anywhere near you.
No.
They're not wasting their time. They're not going to stick their neck out for you.
No.
But you will for them. That's how that works. And that's when the gaslighting starts sometimes. But they're not real friends.
No.
At all.
A real friend will, occasionally jump on a bandwagon with you for, a minute or two.
Right.
But a real friend will say, can we talk about this?
Yes, that is exactly what a real friend would do.
Can I
I know, because I have that real friend.
express to you how I'm seeing this?
Right.
Can I be brutally honest here?
Yes, yes. If my neighbor comes and pisses me off, says something, or throws their, I don't know, their pulled weeds in my yard or something, if I call Mari-Lyn and tell, she's not going to come running over here to go scream at the neighbor. It's just not going to happen. And I would
I might run over to shake one of the weeds in your face, but
right. See why this is really bothering you or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it just think about it. And sometimes sometimes it does feel good to stand up for another person. It does feel good. Like but think about why you're doing it, what the circumstance is. And
are you prepared for the outcome?
yes. Yes. Right. Is that person, honestly, are they truly a victim that needs something from you? Are they truly a victim? Because these days it's like, you know, people are so sensitive. Every word, I mean, words are violent these days. And it's like, what are you talking about? They're just words. They're not violent. They're not violent. It's how we're taking it, So anyway, that's my soapbox today. But
I was just reminded of sticks and stones can break my bones, but words
yes,
never hurt me.
yes, yes.
I was taught that verse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if that's
We
even
all
something
were.
that is even, goes around anymore.
I don't think so.
But I was also taught nobody likes me, everybody hates me. I think I'm going to go eat worms.
Yes.
And if those two things are not contradictory.
Ooh, correct.
Yeah. And yes, they're both just funny little songs.
Yeah.
But for children, when they hear them all the time,
kids are very literal. They don't get sarcasm. They don't get what?
Well, sometimes those kids grow up to be very literal adults.
Yes, that's true. That too.
With very black and white thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Yeah. If someone's, that's true. But if someone's words affect you that much, put down the binoculars.
Yeah.
Pull back and look at it, because it's you that's hurt, not them. I mean, well, for them to say those things, they're probably hurt. But I mean,
hurt people.
Yes, they do. Yes. So
they
to lash out at that person because they said something that hurt you is not productive.
No.
It's functional.
I love
and
that.
You can't go around hating everyone. I guess you can. We've known people, they hate everybody because everybody has some stupid opinion that hurts me. And so you must be a total asshole and you're stupid and you're a Nazi and you're gross and I want nothing to do with you because you're a piece of shit.
Yep. You have the choice to change that.
Man.
Wasn't that exhausting?
Oh my God. Just saying that.
Yeah.
And I don't even believe it, but it was exhausting. Could you imagine being that person? And we all have been that person to a certain degree. And
I'm sure we all know people.
Yes.
Yeah. It is exhausting and
and that's your shit, not anyone else's. It really isn't. That's your wounding and you are being given a chance right now, a huge opportunity to heal that, to heal. Why is it that I'm allowing anyone else in my little universe here to affect me like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we've mentioned a couple of times about the huge opportunity to heal.
Yes.
And there's some people out there going, the hell do you mean? How do I do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that very first step is recognizing.
Yep.
Going, oh, that's shoot, that's me.
Yes.
Wow, damn it, I do that.
Yeah,
That's the very first step.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes. And we say this all the time. I know. We are not meant to travel this journey alone, and we are not alone ever.
Ever, never, ever.
Never.
No.
Finding some healer of some sort is very helpful. And therapists are healers. So it's however, energy healers like we are, or, whatever kind of, I'm seeing someone exercise right now. That can be really helpful for something. Like you go to the gym and you just, whatever, or you just put your running shoes on, you go out and you run, and that physical activity, because our physical body, our deva, holds on to memories. And oftentimes that's what's triggered first.
Yeah.
It hits us in the ears, and our body's like, oh, I know that. And it goes, come back, and we get butt hurt and we get triggered and all of that. So physical activity is really good too. But having someone to talk to, having someone to help you release that, whatever it is.
With the physical activity, and I've experienced this, setting the intention of setting an intention. If something's come up for you and you're triggered, you're going for a run, set the intention to release that energy, to gain clarity.
Yes.
You do not have to be psychic to gain clarity.
No, 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 and no.
Not at all.
Through that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's you cannot fully heal by yourself.
Nope.
I mean, you just can't, but there's so much of it that you have to be an active participant in.
Yes.
And starting yourself out.
You have to be an active, and I'm going to say this to people. If we're always on our journey, you always know that. We all know that.
Always on our journey. Always. Always. Ready or not.
Yes. However, when we become a conscious spirit on our journey, buckle up. Buckle up.
Yeah.
When we make that contract with spirit and say, I'm ready to be a conscious spirit, that's when the healing starts. If you allow, you can totally turn your back, though. We have seen people do it.
At any time, even.
Yes, anytime.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. But the benefits. Oh, I can't even tell you the benefits.
So it's hard, but it's not as hard as staying in that muck. It's not.
I agree.
Staying in the low vibrations.
Yes.
In those broken connections.
Yes.
In the doubt, in the insecurities, in the pain.
Yes. Woo. Yes. All right. So I'm thinking this might be a good time to stop. Are we at a good place? I'm
bringing up making the choice to be a conscious spirit. I think that's a beautiful place to stop.
Yes. Yes, I do too. Thank you, everyone, for taking this little ride with us today. This was a great conversation.
It was. Yeah, I even got to work a few things out in my head.
Me too.
With everybody. Yeah. So thank you.
Yes,
yeah, good.
Okay, check out again. Fred and I have started the weekly meditations. They'll come out every Sunday. Most of them will be on the YouTube channel. Every once in a while, we'll toss one on the regular podcast for just listening, just to remind you that they're out there. But really, every week they'll be on YouTube.
So if they do come up on the podcast, please don't listen while you're driving.
Yes, please. Yes. Yes. And if you're interested in paranormal, our paranormal channel, we only do now house clearings and healings. House healings, really.
House healings.
House healings.
They're absolutely house healings.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we go through, we're on Zoom. The homeowner has their phone and they walk through and we clear it and we tell them what's going on right at the moment and we clear it all away. And it's absolutely amazing. And you totally see the difference in the person when we started and in the end.
Totally.
It's
Totally.
amazing and wonderful. And
we're trying our best to do an update afterwards.
Yes.
Because, you know, we're not live when we're doing it. And we've, you know, we're kind of backed up, which is a beautiful.
We are. It is a beautiful thing. We have, and we encourage you all to reach out to us. And we do probably more clearings that don't go online than ones that do. We never turn anyone down. If you don't want to be on our channel, we don't put you on our channel. And it's just wonderful. And we have actually a couple of our advanced students are really doing more now. And so you might start seeing at some point, I'm going to say this out loud because I know listen, and they're going to go, what? Huh? We're going to start putting them at some point on our channel too. And you'll see them do a clearing and where we won't be there. And you are going to just love it. They are amazing. So anyway, we'll see. Sometimes at some point that'll happen. And it's wonderful. So anyway, check us out, tcseverydaypsychics.com. We'll
you
get
can
to our website to know all about us.
Email us through there.
And we are so grateful. Drop your question. Please send us questions for topics, whether it's paranormal, metaphysical, spiritual, whatever it is. No question except for, do you want pizza, is a stupid question. So just toss it out there.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
We'll talk about it. All right.
Hope this was thought-provoking and
you too. Let us know.
Provoking
Let us know.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.